All right. Uh, I hope I'm clearly audible and visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. How are you?
Ma'am, fine. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. Great. So let's begin today's session then. So keep the back
Okay.
neck straight. Sit comfortably on your mat and very gently close your eyes. Start observing your breath. Keep the mind completely focused on this natural process of the body. Keep the body aligned. And as you do so, feel that stability in the body. Slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Going for slow, long, and deep inhalations. Slow, long, and deep exhalations. Relax your mind completely. And prepare the mind for Om chanting. Inhale deeply for Om. We'll chant the Shanti mantra. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaः. Sarve Santu Nikaraः. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha. Inhale for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join the palms together and rub the palms together. Place them on the eyes. Very slowly and look at the palms, begin to open up the eyes. Let us begin today's class. So again today we are going to change the practice of pranayam. Today we have worked on the heating pranayam so far. So today we are beginning with the first cooling pranayam. Chandravedan. That's 𝐶𝐴𝐴N. Chandravedan. BEDHAN. Chandravedan. So we had done quite a similar practice to this in our previous classes. So Surya Bhedan, which is the exact opposite of this practice, is also called left nostril breathing. Chandravedan pranayam or left nostril breathing. So we had completed Surya Bhedan in a few days back, like in a previous class. So as I said, this is the exact opposite. So Chandra means moon. Right? So Chandra in Hindi it means moon. And when we talk of the practice of Chandra Bhedan, now that we have studied what Hatha Yoga is, we can very clearly understand that we are trying to work on the left nostril or the Ida Nadi. Yeah, IDA, Ida Nadi, right? And when I was teaching the portion on the Hatha Yoga and specifically the left nostril, I told you that it is associated with relaxation, with calmness, with peace. Like when you look at the moon, you know, the kind of feelings and emotions that are generated, you know, feel very soothed and it feels very soothing. You feel very relaxed. So in that same way, this pranayam works on activating the moon side of you, right? And it leads to a lot of relaxation and mental calmness, right? Left is also the feminine energy. Yeah, so right is masculine in nature and left is feminine in nature. So it is going to increase the feminine portion that exists within all of us. Like we have both masculine and feminine energy within us, right? So it's going to work on that feminine energy of the body. And like I told you before also, left nostril, when that is working, the parasympathetic nervous system of the body is activated, and that system is again associated with the relaxation, the relaxative state of the body, the mind. So it's going to induce that parasympathetic nervous system. Cooling pranayams and tranquilizing pranayams, like we have started with that. So these are amazing to end your yoga session with, because eventually when the person has practiced asanas and has taken shavasana to relax the body, and then there are some heat inducing pranayams that we do when that is done. After that, we are mostly aiming for the person to feel very relaxed and ready for the rest of the day, right? And both cooling and tranquilizing pranayams do this work, where it's going to create the mind the environment and the mind like such that you can go and face the day that is ahead of you, or even if you are like going to rest, you are doing yoga in the evening, you will be able to reach that relaxed state. So sometimes what happens is we exercise a lot in the evening and then we are unable to fall asleep, right? So this pranayam, these, if you do this set, these few pranayams at the end, our future classes are going to address more tranquilizing and cooling pranayams. It will make sure that you are in a relaxed state after your session, right? So you will be able to easily then, it won't impact you that much, right? Your sleep and everything, even if you're practicing in the evening, right? And that is what the entire aim is. Yoga is the balance of the mind. So it helps you to feel that sense of balance, right? So when you practice it right now, you will feel very relaxed because the practices, right? So let's begin from the very basics, right? So posture is of course always going to be sitting. And hands can be like, hands can be in normal, like Gyan or Chin Mudra, right? So you can, or you can keep them palms facing upwards like this on it. So that is also good, right? So you can adopt any hand mudra in the beginning. Then when we have to breathe, then again the right hand will have that mudra, either this one or first fingers on the eyebrow center, right? So when we go into the breathing, then we are going to form the mudra with the right hand. Left hand will still remain the same, right? So a very important thing that has that I want to mention when I introduce this pranayam is that in Hatha Yoga Pradipika and Ghering Samhita, there are certain pranayams that are given. Right, I told you that eight pranayams are given in both the texts. But Chandravedan, you will not find the mention of Chandravedan in any traditional Hatha Yoga text. Okay, so this pranayam, if you read the text, you will find 8 pranayams, but this one is not a part. Chandravedan was like is more of a modern practice, and you will find the mention of this pranayam in the book given by B.K.S. Iyengar. He wrote a book called Light on Pranayam, right? And in that he first introduced Surya and then eventually introduced the opposite of Surya which he called Chandra. Okay, so Hatha Yogic texts do not have Chandravedan Pranayam. It's very important to know this thing because sometimes, when we mention that 8 pranayams are mentioned in the Hatha Yogic text, then people confuse that even this one is going to be a part of it. So no, this one is not mentioned, right, in both those texts. It is mentioned in a Light on Pranayam. So if you are looking for the exact technique and how it has to be done, that is the book you can use as a reference when you teach this pranayam. Okay? If you come to the contraindications, the contraindications are very, very basic in this one. So, anybody who has low BP, uh, chronic low BP, or even at that point of time, if you are having low BP, then do not go for this practice because it cools down the body, right? So, if you are having low BP right now, or generally you have low BP, then do not go for this practice because this is going to reduce your BP, right? So for low BP patients, this is not the practice. With retention, again, heart patients should not do this practice with retention. People who have phlegm or like mucus and all, and uh, respiratory problems like asthma, they should not go for this practice because this, increases the mucus, right? Because it generates that, or it leads to the drop down in the temperature, right, of the body. So mucus and all that is, that increases if you practice this. So respiratory disorders like asthma should not go for this practice, right? Apart from that, there are no contraindications for this practice. Everybody can go ahead and practice Chandravedan, right? Uh, let's come to the benefits. Yeah. So this pranayam has immense benefits, right? First thing I told you, the body temperature goes down, right? So it's a great practice to do during winter, during summers, especially if you live in a city where the heat is too much. Then you will see that if you go for the practice of this pranayam at that point of time, you will feel internally very much calm. Like, when there is too much heat, the body, it gets very, very warm and we get irritated and agitated. So at that point of time, going for this practice is going to help you immensely. Even if there is no air conditioning around you, right, it is providing air conditioning with it, right? So uh, drop of temperature, which leads to overall, you know, uh, making you more calm and relaxed during such hot climates, right? So again, goes without saying, during winter, if you practice this, then it is not favorable. So if you are currently living in a place where it's too cold, right, then do not go for this practice. Just for experiment's sake, you can see what is the impact, but don't go for long practices, right? Because it has such a cooling impact, it suits the nervous system as well, right? It's a great practice for people who have hypertension or high BP, right? It has shown to improve their state when they undergo this condition of high BP. It's a great practice. It cools you down overall, right? Same goes on a mental level, right? So if you are get angry too easily, if you are very agitated, irritated during a day, if you sit and do Chandravedan pranayam, you will feel much better, right? Same goes for emotions. If you have very fluctuating emotions, right? Chandravedan is definitely going to help you because it helps to gain that stability and clarity in the mind. So there is a lot of clarity in the mind. There is a lot of calmness and peace that is induced in the mind. So it's a great practice for people to do, right? It's a very refreshing practice as well. When you do this practice, you will, if you are, currently in a state of mind where you are constantly like, getting drained. So it acts as a great pranayam for the refreshment of both the body and the mind, right? And you will see that you feel uh, relaxed, but the laziness is gone, right? So there are two things. One thing, we feel very lazy, right? So we don't do anything. And the other thing is that mentally we are feeling very lazy, right? So on a bodily level, on the mind level, the calmness will come, right? And the laziness will be kicked out. So too much fluctuation of thoughts, you will see that it has come to a still, and then the laziness that you were experiencing, that is gone. Right? So you're able to get up and do things, because sometimes we are having too many thoughts, so we just keep thinking about things and we don't get up and do things, right? This happens with a lot of us. So in that case, you can go ahead and go for this pranayama, right? If you have issues like heartburn, acidity, these kinds of issues also have a very like Chandravedan pranayam has a very therapeutic impact on these physical issues as well. So as people who have acidity or heartburn, right? So these are different stages, right? So they will find a lot of relief when they go for this practice, right? It's a great practice if you are, having any sort of mental issue, right? So be it anxiety, stress, tension, all of these things, they're going to, you're going to feel much better when you go for the practice of this pranayama, right? Overall, if you have a lot of fit in your body, right? If you have too much fit in the body, this is a great practice for those people. And in case of kapha, no, because they already have a lot of mucus, right? So in case of pith-related issues, all the pith-related issues, again, this is a great practice. Some precautions, one thing, whether you have to be very careful. During winters, if you practice this, it's going to, you're going to feel very, very cold inside, right? Because this is acting as an internal, like, uh, air conditioner, right? So if the outside environment is cold and you give internal air conditioning, you are going to shiver, right? And not only shiver, internally also it's the body is working so hard overall to maintain that temperature in the winters. So don't go for this practice during winters, and don't do excess of this practice. So like for Surya Bhedan, like I said, excessive activation of the right nostril is not good. The same way, excessive activation of left nostril is also not good, because both of them serve their own purposes, right? And the entire point of Hatha Yoga is that we have to attain a balance, right? So don't go for excessive practice, right, of even Chandravedan. And if at any point of time you feel any discomfort, or you feel that suddenly your temperature has dropped, then you can either go for Shavasana, or you can sit and focus on your breathing unless and until it comes back to normal, right? 10 to 15 rounds for a beginner are good enough. Yeah. So the practice I will just demonstrate it one time. So whichever mudra you want to form with your hand, you can go ahead, form that mudra, and then close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through the left. Close the left. Exhale through the right. This is one round. Again, close the right. Inhale through left. Exhale through right. When you do the inhalation and exhalation in Chandravedan, you will immediately feel that cold air. Like in Suryabhedan, you were able to feel the warm air. Same way in Chandravedan also, you will be able to feel that cold air, right? Chandravedan and Suryabhedan should never be practiced on the same day, because they are completely opposite practices. Like they are completely opposite. Unlike other pranayams, which can be practiced in a combination, right? Depending on, like, even though heating and then we are doing the cold pranayams, but a combination can be found, right, with which you can practice them together. But Suryabhedan and Chandravedan are completely opposite practices, and hence should be avoided on the same day. So if you're doing Suryabhedan on one day, then go for Chandravedan practice only on the next, right? Do not go for that same practice on the same day, because again, you are working towards one side, the activation of one side, and then suppose in the morning you're working towards activating the right side, and then in the evening when you sit for yoga practice, you are working towards left. So no, do not do this same day. Both of the pranayam should not be practiced. Give one day for all the effects that Surabhedan has to show, and then other day you can go ahead and practice Chandravedan pranayam, right? No doubt on the spiritual benefits, because again we are working on the activation of the left nostril, which is, like I said before also, it's the feminine energy, right? So there's awakening of the Chandra Bhedan. Bhedan means to pierce, like I told in the previous class also when we did Surya Bhedan. So to pierce, right? Or to awaken. So we are working on the purification, the awakening of the left nostril, right? So left nadi, ida nadi, right? So spiritual benefits are pretty like straightforward when it comes to this pranayam: activation and purification of the ida nadi, and the expulsion of the impurities of the Surya Nadi also takes place indirectly when you exhale through the right side of the nostril, right? So, any doubts in any of this? How you have to do it? Who should do it? Who should not do it? Any doubts related to this?
No doubts.
Oh, great. So then let's directly step into the practice only. Yeah. So we are going to go ahead and do abdominal breathing, then yogic deep breathing. Then we are going to do anulom vilom, and then we will do Chandra breathing. Right. So 4 practices we are doing again today. So sit comfortably on your mat. Keep the back and neck straight. And gently close your eyes. Start observing your breath. Keep the mind focused on the breathing. Take your attention to your body, checking the alignment of the body. Both hips should have equal weight. Overall, your body should be relaxed. So take a few moments to just quickly scan through your body. Make sure that the back neck are straight. Slowly come back to your breath. And begin to deepen your breathing. Going into the practice of Puraka and Rechaka. Keeping the back and neck straight. Bring your right hand to the abdomen. Exhale completely. Slowly begin to inhale and feel the abdomen rise as you inhale completely. And as you exhale, contract the abdomen properly. Continue this breathing pattern. Go deeper into your practice with each consecutive breath. Three more breaths, and then we'll suspend the practice of abdominal breathing. Keep the back and neck straight. And just observe the natural flow of your breathing. See the change in the state of your mind. Keeping the back and neck straight, prepare yourself for the practice of yogic deep breathing. Feel the knee. Place one hand on the abdomen, the other on the chest. Or you can choose to just leave the hands on the knees in any mudra. And be aware of the movement in the three sections of the body as you inhale and exhale. Exhale completely. Begin to inhale, expanding the abdomen, and the chest, giving a slight rise to the collarbones. As you exhale, collarbones go down, chest goes in. Contract the belly properly so that all the air can be expelled out. And then begin again. Going for full and deep breaths. Just three more breaths, and then you can completely suspend the practice. Keep your back and neck straight once you complete the practice. And simply observe the natural flow of the breath. If you feel the need, you can change your posture. We'll begin with the practice of Anulom Vilom. Keep the back neck straight. Form the prana for the Nasaka Mudra with the right hand. Exhale completely. And begin to inhale through the left nostril. Close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale to the left. Close the left nostril and exhale through. Once you exhale completely, begin to inhale to the right. After the inhalation, close the right nostril and exhale through the left. This is one round. Continue your practice. Keep continuing your practice, going for a few more rounds of Anulom Vilom. Feel that relaxation, that sense of balance as you proceed through your rounds. go for 3 more rounds. Whichever round you are on, go for 3 more rounds and then you can suspend the practice. Keep the back neck straight and feel the impact of Anulom. Again, if you feel the need, you can change the posture right now. We are going to go for the practice of Chandravedan now. So anywhere between 10 to 15 rounds of the practice, whichever suits you the most. You can choose that number. Keep the back and neck straight. Left hand on the knees. Form the Pranav Mudra or the Nasagra Mudra with the right hand. Exhale completely. Close the right nostril and breathe through the left. Close the left nostril, exhale through the right. This is one round. Again, close the right, inhale through the left. Closing the left. Continue your practice. Once you finish the practice, relax your right hand. Make sure that your back neck remains straight. And with closed eyes, just observe how you feel. Check the state of your mind. Very peaceful and relaxed. If you didn't feel the impact of Chandravedan, or if you feel that your breath is normal, you can go ahead and practice one more round just to see more deeply the impact of Chandravedan. So anywhere between 10 to 15 rounds, we are going to go for one more round like this. Again, take the hand position, close the right nostril, and begin to inhale through the left. If you feel uncomfortable or dizzy at any point of time, suspend the practice. Once you complete the rounds, relax your hand, keep the back neck straight, simply observe. How does your body feel? With closed eyes, just keep observing these little changes that have come in with the practice of this pranayama. We'll chant Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join your palms together in front of the chest and bow down. Just taking out a few moments in a day, feel that gratitude for everything we have. Rub both your palms together. Keep them on your eyes, allowing your eyes to absorb this heat. One more time. Rub the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms. Open up the eyes. Start coming back to the smile. Feel the need, spread this energy on your body. Namaste to everyone. Are there any doubts related to the practice? Okay, so I hope the technique is clear and that you were able to feel the impact of the pranayam. Don't worry if you were not able to. You will eventually if you go for more practice, right? So we'll meet tomorrow for philosophy class. Until then, take care and Om Shanti to everyone. Bye-bye. And yeah,
Om Shanti.
bye-bye. Om Shanti.